Imagine standing in the dark with nothing but a burning stick in your hand, while somewhere beyond the trees, dozens of glowing animal eyes are staring back at you. Not because they want to attack, because they are trying to understand what you are. 25,000 years ago, humans in Upper Paleolithic Europe were not the strongest creatures alive, not even close. A cave lion could tear you apart in seconds. Wolves hunted better than you. Mammoths outweighed you by several tons. Even a frightened deer could break your ribs with one kick. And yet something strange happened. Over time, many animals learned to fear humans more than almost anything else on Earth. Not because humans were individually powerful, but because humans were weird. Dangerously weird. Picture a freezing night somewhere in Ice Age Europe, wind scraping across open grassland, snow crusted around patches of dead grass, smoke drifting low under the stars. A herd of reindeer is feeding quietly in the dark. Then suddenly, light. Moving light. Not lightning, not wildfire, controlled fire. And behind it comes noise. Loud human voices, shouting, sticks slamming against wood, spears raised high, shadows moving together in ways no predator normally moves. The herd panics instantly, because most predators stalk quietly. Humans did the opposite. Evidence from archaeological sites suggests humans often used coordinated noise, movement, and fire to manipulate animal behavior during hunts. Not always by direct killing. Sometimes simply by controlling fear itself. That may have been one of humanity's greatest discoveries. You do not always need to overpower an animal. Sometimes you only need to convince it that you are chaos. And humans were extremely good at chaos. A wolf pack hunts with precision. Lions rely on ambush. Bears intimidate through sheer size. Humans? Humans pointed burning branches at things while screaming together in the dark. And somehow, it worked. That is the strange part. Most animals survive by recognizing patterns. If something behaves predictably, it becomes understandable. A wolf hunts one way, a cave hyena hunts another. Animals learn these patterns over generations. Humans broke patterns constantly. One day, they were quiet. The next day, they arrived with fire. One day, they hid. The next day, they stood upright, waving giant branches and shouting at mammoths larger than houses. Imagine being an Ice Age animal trying to process that. Especially because humans did something almost no other predator regularly did. They looked directly at you. Predators often avoid obvious eye contact before attacking. Humans stare, constantly. We point our faces directly toward things we are thinking about. Researchers today believe many animals are highly sensitive to direct human attention. Even modern wildlife changes behavior when humans simply look at them for too long. Now imagine ancient humans. Thin figures covered in animal skins. Standing around firelight, watching you silently from the edge of darkness. That alone may have felt deeply unnatural. And then there was persistence. Humans were terrifyingly patient. Evidence suggests some ancient hunters practiced persistence hunting, where humans slowly exhausted animals over enormous distances, not through speed, through endurance. Which sounds almost fake until you realize humans are basically biological marathon creatures with anxiety disorders. We sweat efficiently. We regulate heat well. We keep going long after many animals overheat. So imagine being a deer. At first, the humans are far away, easy to escape. But hours later, they are still there. Still following. Still watching. Still walking. No claws. No fangs. Just relentless movement. That changes the emotional experience of being hunted entirely. Most predators explode with speed. Either you escape immediately, or you die quickly. Humans turned hunting into psychological horror. You run. The humans return. You hide. The humans eventually find signs. You rest. The humans keep coming. For animals unused to endurance predators, this may have felt almost supernatural. Especially because humans carried memory across generations. This mattered more than people realize. A lone wolf learns from experience. Humans could teach experiences to individuals who were never there. A child could learn where mammoths migrate before ever seeing one. A teenager could learn which valley contains wolves. A hunter could learn from the mistakes of dead hunters. That is terrifying evolutionary power. Knowledge stopped dying with individuals. Humans remembered, and animals slowly learned that humans remembered too. Many archaeologists believe Upper Paleolithic humans understood animal behavior with extraordinary detail: tracks, seasonal movement, smells, sounds, feeding habits. Not from textbooks, from survival. If you failed to understand animals, your family starved. So ancient humans became obsessive observers. The way modern people obsess over phone notifications, Ice Age humans obsessed over footprints in mud. Because one mistake could kill everyone. And honestly, some of those tracking skills sound almost impossible today. Researchers studying traditional hunter-gatherer societies have documented trackers identifying age, injury, emotional state, and movement patterns from tiny ground disturbances most modern people would never even notice. To animals, humans may have seemed uncannily aware, as if the landscape itself was reporting information back to them. And then came the fire. Fire changed everything. Not just physically, emotionally. Most animals fear fire instinctively. But humans carried it, fed it, slept beside it. That alone violated the rules of nature. Imagine watching small, fragile primates casually holding the thing every forest fears most. Archaeological evidence shows humans used fire for warmth, protection, cooking, landscape management, and likely social bonding. But psychologically, fire also transformed how humans appeared to other creatures. Fire made humans look larger, louder, unpredictable, almost magical. A single person holding a torch at night suddenly becomes something entirely different from an ordinary animal. The darkness itself starts moving around them. And humans understood this surprisingly early. Some researchers believe coordinated noise and fire were used not only in hunting, but in driving predators away from camps. Which makes sense, because Upper Paleolithic Europe was not empty wilderness. It was crowded with dangerous animals. Cave lions, hyenas, wolves, bears. Humans were not automatically dominant. Sometimes they were prey. There were nights when families likely heard predators breathing just outside the firelight. Nights when everyone stayed awake listening. Nights when a baby crying too loudly could become genuinely dangerous. And this may explain something important. Human fear created human cooperation. A single human with a spear is vulnerable. 20 humans with fire shouting together in the dark? Completely different creature. That transformation may have terrified animals more than anything else. Because humans fused into groups faster than almost any predator. Most predators compete with each other eventually. Humans coordinated. And coordinated humans become unbelievably intimidating. Even modern animals react differently to groups of humans compared to individuals. Many species instinctively avoid organized human movement altogether. Not because humans are physically overwhelming, because groups of humans behave like a system. A thinking swarm. One person waves fire. Another throws stones. Another circles behind. Another screams. Another blocks escape routes. The animal suddenly faces not one threat, but many minds operating together. That is rare in nature. And deeply dangerous. Especially once humans invented projectile weapons. A spear changes distance itself. For millions of years, most animals understood a basic rule. Danger must come close to hurt you. Humans broke that rule. Now death could arrive from several meters away. Then farther still. That shift was enormous. Evidence from preserved spear points and hunting sites suggests Upper Paleolithic humans became increasingly effective at distance hunting over time. Animals adapted to claws and teeth, not airborne sharp objects thrown by cooperative apes. Even today, many animals panic unpredictably around thrown objects, because evolution had little preparation for it, and humans kept escalating. Fire, noise, projectiles, coordination, persistence, memory, planning. Suddenly humans were not competing like ordinary predators anymore. They were redesigning the game itself. But perhaps the strangest thing animals encountered was human emotion. Humans cared for injured individuals, buried their dead, protected children for years, shared food, taught skills patiently. Archaeological evidence from ancient burials and healed injuries suggests prehistoric humans often cared for vulnerable group members long after injuries that would kill many animals. That level of social bonding creates something powerful. It creates resilience. A wolf loses one hunter. The pack weakens. Humans lose one hunter. The group teaches another. Knowledge survives. Memory survives. The fire stays lit. That may be the real secret behind why animals feared ancient humans. Not violence alone, not intelligence alone, but collective persistence. Humans were fragile individually, yet strangely difficult to stop collectively. And animals likely sensed this long before humans dominated the planet. You can still see traces of it today. Wild animals often react to humans with a unique mixture of caution, uncertainty, and distance that differs from many predator-prey relationships. Even enormous animals sometimes avoid humans earlier than expected, because for thousands of generations, humans became associated with unpredictability. Noise, fire, movement, tools, coordination, attention, and survival against impossible odds. In a strange way, ancient humans may have looked less like normal animals, and more like a force of nature that learned how to walk together. That realization changes how we see our ancestors. They were not superhuman warriors marching confidently across prehistory. Most days they were cold, hungry, exhausted, scared. Parents trying to protect children beside small fires while predators moved through the darkness beyond camp. But they adapted. They communicated. They remembered. And slowly, across thousands of years, animals learned something important. If the strange, upright creatures arrive carrying fire, leave. Because the humans are here, and they are planning something.